Someone in your life is making you doubt yourself, not because they're smarter than you, not because they're right, because they've been running a playbook and you didn't know the playbook existed. That ends today. By the end of this video, you'll know 7 specific manipulation tactics, how they're deployed, why your brain falls for them, and the exact counter move for each one. Most of these you've already experienced, you just didn't have the name for them. The last one is the most dangerous, not because it's violent or obvious, but because it makes you dismantle yourself. Stay with it. Tactic 1. The reality audit. That's not what happened. This tactic rewrites events after the fact. The manipulator doesn't argue with you, they just tell you your memory is wrong. Calmly, repeatedly. You remember what was said. They say you're misremembering. You start to wonder if maybe you are. Real-world example. You bring up a promise someone made. They say, "I never said that. You always do this." You hear what you want to hear. No raised voice. Just quiet, confident denial. Why it works. Memory is reconstructive, not recorded. When someone contradicts your recall with confidence, your brain doesn't automatically trust itself. Self-doubt is the door they just keep knocking until it opens. Counter move. Write things down. Not obsessively, strategically. Dates, exact words, outcomes. When someone says that's not what happened, you say, "I have it here." Paper kills this tactic. The moment you produce a record, the ground shifts. The next one doesn't rewrite the past, it hijacks the present, and it works on almost everyone. Tactic 2. Social proof weaponization. Everyone agrees with me. Instead of making a direct argument, the manipulator manufactures consensus. Everyone I've talked to thinks you are out of line. Most people would see it this way. The group becomes a weapon pointed at you. You're not fighting one person anymore, you're fighting a crowd you can't see. Real-world example. A manager tells you the team found your presentation hard to follow, never naming who, never citing specifics. You walk out second-guessing work that was solid. Why it works. Humans are wired for social calibration. Being out of sync with the group triggers real anxiety. It's an evolutionary threat signal. The manipulator exploits that signal without ever producing an actual group. Counter move. Force specificity. Who specifically? What did they say? Watch them stall. Phantom consensus collapses under a single concrete question. Don't accept the crowd. Demand names. That one came from outside you. The next one comes from inside, and it's been running longer than you think. Tactic 3. Manufactured obligation. After everything I've done, this tactic converts past favors into future control. Every gift, sacrifice, or act of generosity gets silently logged as debt. Then the debt gets called in at the exact moment you try to assert a boundary. It doesn't sound like a threat, it sounds like hurt feelings. Real-world example. You tell someone you can't help them this weekend. They say, "Fine, I just remembered all the times I dropped everything for you." You feel guilty. You comply. The boundary disappears. Why it works? Reciprocity is one of the deepest human drives. The feeling of owing someone is genuinely uncomfortable. Manipulators know this and stockpile leverage by doing unsolicited favors you didn't ask for. Counter move. Name the dynamic out loud. I'm noticing that every time I set a limit, the conversation shifts to what I owe you. You're not attacking, you're exposing the pattern. Most people who do this depend on it staying invisible. Naming it makes it visible. The next one doesn't use guilt, it uses admiration, which makes it almost invisible. Tactic 4. The flattery trap. You're the only one who gets it. The manipulator doesn't start by asking for something, they start by elevating you. You're smart, you're different, you see things others don't. Then, once you've accepted the identity they've handed you, they ask. Real-world example. You're the most strategic person I know. That's why I know you'll understand why I need you to cover for me on this. You've just been maneuvered into compliance using your own ego as the lever. Why it works? Identity consistency. Once you accept the flattering label, refusing the request feels like contradicting who you just agreed you are. You'd rather protect the identity than protect your time, integrity, or judgment. Counter move. Separate the compliment from the ask. Ask yourself, would I agree to this if they hadn't said that about me first? If the answer is no, the flattery was the hook. Evaluate the request on its own terms. That one used your strengths against you. The next one uses something you'd never expect: silence. Tactic 5. Strategic withdrawal. The disappearing act. The manipulator goes cold. No explanation, no fight. Just distance, emotional or physical. They stop responding, disengage from conversations, or visibly pull their warmth away. You didn't do anything wrong, that's what makes it work. Real-world example. Everything seemed fine, then nothing. No returned calls, short answers. You replay every interaction trying to find the error, and slowly, you start performing to bring them back. Why it works? Intermittent reinforcement. The brain fixates on unpredictable reward more intensely than consistent reward. When warmth disappears without cause, you pursue it harder than you ever would have if they'd just been cold from the start. Counter move. Don't pursue. Not because of pride, because pursuit validates the signal. Instead, stay neutral and wait. Most people using this tactic are waiting for you to chase. When you don't, the tactic has no target. One of two things happens. They come back with actual communication, or they don't. And either way, you've stopped being controlled. You've seen 5, two left, and the next one doesn't target your behavior, it targets your sense of reality. Tactic 6. Moving goalposts. It's never enough. You do what was asked, then the standard shifts. You did it, but not quite right. You did it right, but too late. You did it on time, but it wasn't enough. The point was never the task. The point was keeping you striving. Real-world example, you hit every metric your manager set. In your review, numbers look good, but we really need to see more initiative. Initiative was never part of the conversation. It is now. Why it works. It keeps you in a permanent state of not quite good enough. That psychological position, striving but never arriving, makes you easier to direct. People who feel they've earned nothing don't push back. Counter move. Document the agreement before you execute. Let me confirm if I hit X and Y by Z, we're good. Get it confirmed. Then hold the line. Shifting standards die when they're in writing. 6 done. The last one is different. It doesn't manipulate your behavior. It manipulates the way you think about yourself. Finale Tactic 7. Identity erosion. You've always been like this. This is the long game. It doesn't happen in one conversation, it happens across months or years. Small comments delivered casually. You're so sensitive. That's just how you are. You've always had that problem. None of it sounds like manipulation. It sounds like observation. But it's not observation, it's installation. Real-world example. Over 2 years in a relationship, every emotional reaction gets labeled overreaction. Every boundary labeled as you being difficult. Eventually you stop reacting not because you've grown, but because the label someone who overreacts has become part of how you see yourself. Why it works. Identity is the operating system. If someone can rewrite it slowly, incrementally, using language that sounds like honest feedback, they don't need to control your actions. You'll control yourself, you'll censor yourself, you'll doubt yourself before they ever have to say a word. The synthesis. Every tactic on this list has one thing in common: they work by distorting your access to yourself. Your memory, your reality, your history, your worth. The counter isn't just knowing the moves, it's maintaining a clear, consistent relationship with your own perception. When you know who you are, these tactics have nowhere to land. There's a follow-up to this. 7 more tactics, but these ones are subtler, the kind used by people you'd never suspect. Colleagues, family, partners. That video is already up. It's linked at the end of this one. If what you just watched made something click, that's the video that explains why it took so long to click.